Africa. The land is so big and fertile with abundant natural and human resources. I want us to start with the word of Chief Obafemi Awolowo. He said, "A true knowledge of the past was the surest guide to the future, provided we do not become uncritical slaves of the past. If truly we want to move forward as a group of people in the world and be part of evolving development of the new world, it is important for us to look at our past and understand what needs to be done to live better life today in preparation for good future." Long time ago in Africa, our forefathers have good society that was evolving towards the peak of development. The land was good and fertile. Men are great men and women are great women. There was no hunger and everybody was gainfully employed. People were satisfied with their environment and developing at their own pace, using the available natural resources to produce products and render services for the progress of the society. At their own level, they were discovering natural resources, which is science, and intelligently and innovatively creating tools to make use of the abundant natural resources and turn them to products. That is technological development. Although outsiders, out of preconceived notion, thought that what they saw that was strange to them or different from what was available in their culture was an act of underdevelopment. They did not know that Africa was equally moving towards development. Nearly everyone was gainfully employed through the cultivation of family lands and inheriting of family skills. It was a taboo for an adult to look up to another person for his survival, except the sick and disabled. No able-bodied can live without work. People were producing products for their needs. The farmer cultivated crops and their wives processed agricultural products to different foods and consumable products like soap, yam flour, pap, and so on, which serve as medium of employment for women. There are some special vocations and skills that are reserved for some families, which anyone that happen to be born into the family automatically practice and transfer the skill to his own children in the future. For example, skills like cloth weaving, blacksmithing, hunting, drumming, carving, pot making, and so on. The society was organized economically in such a way that they depend on each other. The farmers and carvers depend on the blacksmiths, who were the technologies of the time, and the blacksmiths and others depend on farmers for food. There were both morning, evening, daily, and weekly markets where buyers and sellers meet to exchange their products. During the time of our forefathers, people learn as they do things in imitation of their teachers, who were either parents or relatives. The learner made use of hands and head to learn the skill presented to him by the teacher, and most of the learning were preserved in the memory and transferred to the incoming generation through oral transmission and practical activities. In the ancient African setting, education is compulsory, and everyone was a graduate of at least a skilled and potential teacher that would transfer his or her knowledge to others in the society or family, if it is family skill. And they are finished products for the readily available labor markets because they were educated for the needs of the society to produce products and render services that are essential to the development of the society. The major aim of the indigenous education of the ancient Africans was to prepare each person to play a particular practical role in the society with fairness and fear of God, and provide for the society in accordance to his or her talent. According to Professor Babatunde Fafunwa, the goals of African indigenous education are as follows: to develop the child latent skills, to develop character, to inculcate respect for elders and those in position of authority, to develop intellectual skills such as history, geography, mathematics, architecture, dance skills, medicine, to acquire specific vocational training, and to develop healthy attitude towards honest labor, to develop sense of belonging and to participate actively in family and community affairs, to understand, appreciate, and promote cultural heritage of the community at large. The kings oversee the affairs of the towns. Kings oversee the affairs of the towns and villages, with the chiefs who served as advisors and kingmakers. The king and chiefs used the culture and tradition of the community that served as do's and don'ts to guide the peaceful living of the people of the community. The king does not have autonomous power because the chiefs served as check and balance. For example, in Oyo town, the Oyomesi have power to enthrone and dethrone the king, as it was in other cultures all over the world. People engaged in war to expand their territories for economic and political reasons, to get enough land for agricultural purposes and dominate their environment. Economically, Africa was developing and producing products and even transact business with each others. Egypt was one of the most developed parts of the world because history confirmed that civilization started from Egypt. The kingdom of Mali and Songhai Empire grew. Under the reign of a Yoruba king, Ile-Ife was a vital trade town. Africa cultivated crops 12,000 years ago. Africa mummified their dead bodies 9,000 years ago. Africa carved the world's first coloral sculpture 7,000 years ago. Sudan had more pyramids than any other country on earth in around 300 BC. In central Nigeria, Ile-Ife was paved in 1000 AD on the order of a female ruler. Glass windows existed in the residence of Ghana Emperor in 116 AD. Malian sailors got to America in 1311 AD, 181 years before Columbus. Yoruba metal art of medieval period was world class in the mid-19th century. In the mid-19th century, William Clark, an English visitor to Nigeria, remarked that a good article of cloth can be woven by the Yoruba weavers as by any people. In durability, their clothes far excel the prints and home sponsor Manchester Congolese textiles were also distinguished. Various European writers of 16th and 17th centuries wrote of delicate crafts of the people living in eastern Congo and adjacent regions who manufactured damask, satins, taffeta cloths of tissue and velvet. Professor Dograft John made the curious observation that their brocade, both high and low, were far more valuable than the Italian. The Nigerian city of Kano in 1851 produced an estimated 10 million pairs of sandals and 5 million hides each year for export. Ethiopia, that was never colonized, minted its own coins over 1,500 years ago. African forefathers were able to achieve the above mentioned things and many more because they operated in the environment that gave them opportunity to use their God-given natural and human resources without hindrance from outsider. I hope you have gained tremendously. I want to humbly appeal to you to kindly subscribe to Lim TV Plus for more.